Hey class 9 students, we are again here with the next part of our video of chapter number 6. In the previous two parts, we have learned about the tissues and the different kinds of tissue and why we classify them differently. Then we learn about the meristematic and the permanent tissue, meristematic tissues characteristics, and what are the three different kinds of meristematic tissue based upon the location, that is apical, intercalary and the lateral meristem. And in the permanent tissue, we also learn about that by the process of differentiation, the meristematic tissue become permanent and specific in their functions. And these two type of permanent tissues, simple permanent tissues, which are made up of only one kind of cells and perform a single function. So these are parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma function is to store food and the nutrients. If it is storing air spaces, it would call as the aerenchyma. If it is storing the chloroplast, then it will perform the photosynthesis. Then it could be the chlorenchyma tissues. Collenchyma tissue's main function is to provide the flexibility to the plants so that they could bend easily without breaking. And the sclerenchyma tissue, it provides the mechanical strength and the protective covering around the coconut husk, around the seeds, around the nuts. So during unfavorable condition, they protect these parts of the plant. Now let's learn about the complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissues we call them complex because they are having the different group of different types of cells which are performing the same task together, and that's why we're calling them a complex tissue. There are two types, xylem and the phloem. Xylem tissues. Xylem is actually responsible for transporting water and nutrients from the roots to the upper parts of the plant. So it is made up of four types of cells: xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchymas, and xylem sclerenchymas. We already know that the xylem parenchyma is a living cell and they are responsible for the food and the nutrients storage. So it's here also it's having the same function. Sclerenchyma tissue or the vessels, they are the dead cells we have already learned, and these cells are actually responsible for providing the mechanical support to the plant. So it is providing the mechanical strength. It is also associated with the xylem cells, and they are abundant in the woody plants where they have the wood to provide the mechanical strength to the xylem of a plant as a whole. Now let's learn about these tracheids and the vessels. Tracheids, vessels, and sclerenchyma, these are three different dead cells present in the xylem to perform one specific function to transport water from root to the leaves. Only the xylem parenchyma is the living cells present in the xylem tissues. So xylem, let's learn more. Firstly learn about the xylem vessels. So we can call them a trachea or the vessels. It's a pipe-like structure, long tubular structure formed by fusion of the different cells placed one to one. They placed one on one another. Their end walls have perforations, means they must be having some spaces present between them so they can easily carry the water. It is like a series of water pipes forming a pipeline. It is same as these vessel members, and each cell of this tubular structure is known as the vessel element. So vessel element, it is shorter and wider, and they possesses various types of lignin thickenings so that they could conduct water in all flowering plants, and they could easily conduct through the perforation and all. Xylem tracheids, they are elongated cells. They are having the tapering ends. The ends are tapered and they have some pits around it, means they have some holes around them. They are elongated and pointed. End walls are imperforate here. They are not impermeable, but they are all the bodies having the imperforate. They are dead empty cells, and they are also consist of various thickenings which provide the mechanical strength. The tracheids walls have one or more row of pits. You can see here the black dots. It's resembling the pits, the holes, right? and through which the adjacent tracheids are interconnected, or we can say the vessels are connected through which the water can be conducted easily. So the conducting material present in the xylem elements is the xylem vessels and the tracheids, and the fiber and parenchyma, these are responsible for storing and providing the mechanical strength to the xylems. Next is your parenchyma. You can say the phloem tissues, and the phloem tissue is also responsible for conducting the food and the nutrients from the site of photosynthesis to the different parts of the plant. It is also known as the bast phloem, or we can say that the bast. It is also a conducting tissue, right? It is made up of 4 another elements like sieve cells, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Similarly, as compared to the xylem parenchyma, here phloem parenchyma is also storing food. Xylem fibers or the sclerenchyma, the phloem fibers are also having the thick cell wall and they are providing the mechanical support. Xylem parenchyma or the phloem parenchyma, they both are living cells, live cells, and others are dead. Xylem fibers or xylem sclerenchyma, phloem fibers or phloem sclerenchyma, they are dead cells and providing the mechanical strength. Other than these 2 important features or the same characteristics, the 2 different characteristics, the sieve cells and the companion cells are there in phloem, which are responsible for conduction of the food from the site of photosynthesis to different parts of the plants. So let's learn about the first, that is the sieve tube. Sieve tubes are long tube-like structure composed of several elongated cells placed one end to the another end. Here you can see here, this is the sieve tube, and these are placing one another just like the vessel members. Their cell walls are thin and made up of the cellulose again, and they are having some plates, perforated plates between them, so that these plates are known as the sieve plate, and they are connected through the perforation. And mature sieve tubes are without the nuclei, others are the young sieve tubes, they are having the nuclei present in them. But if they are mature, they'll become mature, then what will happen? The companion cells have the cytoplasm and the nucleus, which are just lie adjacent to the sieve cells, and they help in the performing the task together. So sieve cells and the companion cells to go together, they are known as the sister cells, and they are the conduction unit present in the phloem cells. So they are meant for the conduction of the food material, and they are actually of a commercial importance also. So this is all about. So let's learn about some more terms related to that. That is, first is lignin. I have already told you these are present in the thickenings. The lignin is present as the thickenings in the dead cells, which is like a cemented material which provide the rigidity, and the cement to the cells like the Fevicol, and it also act between the dead cells so that they can join together, they can stay together, so they can provide the rigidity. So the differences between the xylem and phloem, the mode, xylem, they are generally made up of dead cells, and the phloem is made up of the living cell except the xylem. Parenchyma is the living cell, and in phloem, except the phloem fibers, all are the living cells. Cell wall thickening, xylem is having the thick cell wall, phloem is having the thin cell wall. Material, it is generally made of the lignin, because all the cells generally made up of the dead cells, so they are having the lignin present in them, and the living cells in phloem, they are made up of the cellulose. The permeability, they are impermeable to anything just for the conduction of water, and the phloem is permeable to every food and nutrient, so it can transport easily. Cytoplasm is not present because all the cells are dead, but the phloem is having the cytoplasm lining, especially in the companion cells. It transport water and mineral to the plant, and phloem transport food from the site of photosynthesis to the other parts of the plant. It carried the water and minerals to the leaves, and it carried food from growing parts to the storage organs. So xylem direction of flow is just singly the upward direction, but the phloem could be transported from upward to the downward as well. So tissues also has fibers, and here is also has the companion cells. So there's a complete difference between the xylem and phloem. Now there's one more tissue that could be present in the plant cell, which we call them epidermis, or we can call them a protective tissue. Like the skin that surrounds our body, though there's one tissue that is present in the plant, the outermost layer of the cell, it is known as the epidermis. It covers the entire plant and makes a thin layer of a single cells and become thick in order to avoid the frequent water loss. If there is emergency to stop the water loss by the transpiration, then the epidermis cell will become thick in nature. They are flat and they have no intercellular spaces between them. Their inner cell walls are actually thin. They often may have the hair-like structure in roots so that they can easily absorb the water. And their main function is to protect the plant from the other water loss, fungi and injuries by secreting the wax-like water resistance substance like cuticle on the surfaces, which protects the plant. So the epidermis is actually the protective tissue in the plant which covers whole the plant part and protect it from the injury, viruses and the different part. It also preventing the excessive loss of water. You can see here there are two layers. This is a picture of a leaf, the microscopic picture where the epidermis is present at the upper part, which we call them the upper epidermis, and lower epidermis is having the stomata, which is also helping in the exchange of the gases for the photosynthesis as well as for the transpiration process. Now, why do branches of all trees are different than the stem of a new plant? You can say that they have often called bark or the thick cork of the plant. Cork is also a kind of protective tissue that you can find. As the plant grows older, the meristematic tissue starts covering the upper layer of the plant instead of the epidermis, so they'll become dead at that time. As a result, the secondary lateral meristem is formed, which is we call them a cork. Secondary meristem, which is you can say that this sclerenchyma tissue, right? Sclerenchyma tissue, and they are actually known as the cork or the phalangen, and they have no special function other than providing them the rigidity to the plant. And because of this rigidity, they make the branches of the plants thick, and that's why we call them the bark or the thick cork of the tree. They contain a substance like suberin also, which is waterproof and does not allow the gaseous exchange sometimes. Okay, so the cork is actually also responsible for protecting the internal tissue against the infection, and it is resistant to acid as well as the other gases, and is a good insulator for the temperature or the electricity. So it is important for the plant according to the environmental changes. So far we have completed our topic related to the plant tissue. In the next video, we are going to learn more about the animal tissue. Till then, thank you everyone. Take care and keep learning.